be the statement or something that's
Statement of votes.
Statement of votes, which identify exactly the independent in singular accounting of the canvas of votes.
Yes.
The canvas, the statement, di ba?
Yes.
Ano nangyari? Sinasabi nila, on the vowel alone, you're talking 10,000 pieces of white sheets of paper.
Pages.
So hindi pwede, abala yan eh. In other words, wag na yan, abala.
How would you know? Okay, because the only number in the certificate of the certificate of canvass is only one number, a number of a candidate, only total.
Isa-isa lang.
Isa lang. Halimbawa, ito yung kay Doynoy, ito yung number. Ito yung
itemize,
isa lang yun. Isa lang yun. Say, it's the provincial COC. But the statement of votes will tell you na sa munisipyo nito, all of the several municipalities that you have, kanya ito boto bawat isa. Yun ang sinasabi ng statement of votes.
Are these the checks and balances you're saying that is required? That's why that was put into the law?
Precisely.
That's the purpose. The statement of votes is a check and balance.
Yes.
Pag may duda ka lang
Pag may duda ka, bumabalik ka, certificate of canvass, bumababa ka sa statement of votes, bumababa ka sa election.
Ang problema ko, habang pinakikinggan ko hapon sa radyo, sinasabi ko sarili ko, parang calisthenics nangyayari sa Congress kasi ang tingin natin. I mean, in 2004, it took 20 hours. At 3:30 in the morning, they proclaimed the president.
Yeah.
2, this is the only country, as stated by Cesar Flores, no less, that we're the only country in the world left wherein the Congress is the one that declares the president and vice. Diba? In this case, ito naman, parang calisthenics nakita natin the last 2 to 3 weeks. I guess I got bored with what I was seeing with the congressmen sitting there doing whatever. Kala ko they were just jockeying for TV time, free TV time. But now you're saying, no, there's a reason for this, all of this.
Precisely. Yeah.
Yung check and balance.
Check and balance.
Gentlemen, where are we now? Let's go to the other side. Okay.
At bottom, Harry, the COMELEC has trampled on the law and Congress has abetted it. What do we do about it?
How would you comment on Senator Enriquez's statements? Wala naman kayo nilabas na prebe. At sinasabi mo, the system is the preba.
Oh, adi dyan yan.
Ay, sistemang mali. Pero sumunod ang batas eh. Because every time they went step by step, every time they missed out the digital signatures, the optical scan, whatever, the law kept saying, sige, pwede yan, pwede yan, pwede yan. The supposed conspiracy...
But the law as amended by the COMELEC.
By the COMELEC.
Yeah, by the
amended by them.
COMELEC.
But did not the Supreme Court back them up all the way? Hindi naman. It was just the COMELEC saying all of this.
No, in fact, the Supreme Court
questioned them.
Questioned them. And specified that this
is the basis of this situation now.
Yes.
Precisely.
Even the Supreme Court had a last word on before the elections that this thing should be present. Reiterating each and every
The phrase that was used in the ruling of the Supreme Court in the reconsideration of Roque, okay,
Harry
Roque, is the fact that subject to the specifications of the general instructions that will be provided by the COMELEC, according to specifications.
Yeah.
Yun ang hindi nasundan eh.
In a sense, the COMELEC superseded the Supreme Court.
Superseded the Supreme Court.
Yes, yes. No, but going back here with Attorney Roque, as much as he is admirable in his advocacy, the problem he has been fighting for almost every other fight for the Filipino people. And parang the perception is, here he goes again. Oh my God, he's screaming again. Oh my God, problema na naman to. Parang gano'n nangyari.
A million angels, okay? A million angels. Or
Still
a million
make it,
devils,
yes,
okay?
yes.
Harry,
I agree.
Harry,
yes, go ahead, sir.
Why is it that you are the only one speaking up?
No, in GNN, we like to think that we have no real sides. We like to hear all sides because this is intellectual viewing so that the people may know the truth. However, whether they can handle it is a different story. We are just presenting the facts. No bias, disclaimers all put in front of you. We're only talking of real issues. Gentlemen, where are we? May problema ngayon tayo. Kailangan natin mag-declare, hindi naman pwedeng, unless gusto nyo, extend natin si GMA hanggang next year. Mukhang sisigaw mas marami niya, sisibihin nila, hindi naman pwede rin yun.
Tapos na siya.
Kita mo. So kung tapos na siya, sino na iba talaga nanalo? Well, it seems parang he's the most popular. Ang kawa-awa dito talaga si Rojas tsaka si Binay. Although I did vote more for Binay, and I did vote for him, parang kawa-awa naman to si Rojas. Di ba? Yung na-invalid lang, 2.5 million votes. Parang, that's enough to turn everything around, which is why my heart goes out for him. Kawa-awa naman. How about the other senators, the local officials that were voted into office? Are we saying this whole thing is rigged? The answer is yes. What do we do now? It's 2010. we've got a new president, vice president, the Senate is complete. Whether true or false, what should be done? Should we go after Smartmatic? Should we make that Hamelec resign? Should we make them to answer all the discrepancies and everything that they did? I mean, they were above the law. Parang, should we put them in the position now? What should we do now?
All I can say is there are processes and processes. Magaling tayo dyan. But if we go into what we will do with them,
it's a different story.
It's a different story. And I would like to say that in ancient times, when the first Filipinos were getting together, and there was a need for discipline.
Yes.
In the barangays, there was the Code of Kalantiao.
Okay.
That said, whatever you may think about it, because some people doubt about it, but the Code of Kalantiao said, for treason, ang parusa ay ipakain sa buhaya.
Pakain talaga sa buhaya.
Eh, wala nang buhaya ngayon eh.
Ay, hindi, marami. Nasa Kongreso, papalakpakan. Ang dami dyan. No, but what do we do now? Ano maganda gawin natin?
Okay.
Because ako, in my programs, as much as I like to bring out these issues, and you brought them out very, walang bias walang kuro-kuro. Sinasabi mo lang naman, ganito, wala, ito, wala. Eh, tama naman lahat na sinabi mo wala ka naman sinabi na hindi totoo dyan So, you've proven your point. Ano gagawin natin ngayon? Anong magandang gawin natin?
Actually, the situation has led itself into a very, very uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable, mind you.
Because all the terms of these people are ending June 30.
We're talking 2 weeks.
Including the president, the vice president, including all those congressmen, mayors, senate,
governors, all the way down. Ang dami.
That will have to be replaced.
Not to mention all the appointed positions. This morning, I was just reading all the different ambassadors lang. Nagja-jockey lahat
I think the situation has created an emergency.
But it's not going to be the first time the will of the people has been subverted. It's not the first time.
A constitutional emergency.
But there is a constitutional provision in our Constitution that makes the armed forces of the Philippines the protector of the people and the state.
Go on, you're making it very interesting. I'm all ears.
And precisely maybe the wisdom of those who framed the Constitution, because of the different problems that we create instead of the solutions. Forecast one day when we would create such kind of an emergency, when we don't know one end of the stick from another. And so we have this now, and so who will rule over it? Now, there is a provision in the Constitution, too, that in the case of a double vacancy in the president and the vice presidency, the Senate president would be the acting president. Now, unfortunately, we have, what, 11 or 12? Because the newly elected would
Wala kang majority
qualified.
Ang majority 12 plus 1 It's only 10 plus 1 mangyayari, kulang pa rin
Maybe it could be stretched and challenged that this 12 or 11 people can elect a Senate president. Well, that's one theory. The other theory is extreme. It's the extra-constitutional theory. But within the Constitution,
wouldn't we be better off staying with a mistake rather than looking at the extra-constitutional method and or the military?
This
is being very linked right now to the outgoing chief of staff. No? As we've heard yesterday, we've heard his goodbyes and whatnot, and his disclaimers na alam mo, wag ipopoliticize ang professional system of the military. Nakakatakot pakinggan lahat ng mga these statements. And today, a lot of the editors are reacting as well. But is that even a proposed direction? Isn't that a bit scary?
Well, whether it's scary or not, it's provided for as an option in the Constitution.
Do we consider it as an option?
Basically, under a situation where an emergency, there's no president, there's no vice president, there are no congressmen, there are no local officials. Who will rule the country?
First of all, are we going to stay in a position that we should misdeclare all declarations that have been made or pull back declarations because the system was incorrect? The will of the people have been subverted. There seems to have been a conspiracy. Well and good. So that means we cancel the elections per se, meaning no winners. Then we go into the situation of what we call the crisis. We go through this whole system and what options. Alam mo, somehow the Republic has to look a more pragmatic way. Tayo, we are educated people, we sit here. We have to look more pragmatic towards ourselves because ourselves include ourselves.